Hello. Monday, May 14th. I'm saying that 'cause I'm remembering dates because I want to start being a little more specific. I'm going to try to do a weekly video, if not more. This is the goings on. Just a reminder of touching on what's going on. The mainstream media is just getting desperate and shrill. So much is happening on so many levels. Um, You've got RFK Jr. coming out and saying that he is going to get to the root cause of autism by September. So he's mandated that. So what are we going to find out? The interesting thing is, and I've talked about this many times before, that when they go into the first thing most mainstream does, and even mainstream medical community does, is say, oh, it's not the vaccines. Don't look there. It's this, it's environmental, it's all this, nothing but don't look there. True science looks at everything. So RFK Jr. is going to go in with his people and they're going to look at all spectrums, because if you leave one thing out, you're not doing a true study and things like that. Many of us have been talking about this for years, that vaccines cause autism. A lot of vaccines do. And we're on the precipice of getting that truth out. So we'll see where that comes up, but we're getting closer and closer and closer. There's more laws going out by different states about the chemtrails in the skies, aerosol spraying, weather manipulation, all that. So keep an eye on that. These are all rabbit holes you can go down and find all the data. The autism is a big one. The same thing with this, what they're calling long COVID, back to the autism thing. They're long COVID, and all these mainstream medical communities, Harvard even, I get a monthly newsletter from Harvard just to laugh more than anything, because they're so off base from what we've taught for years. Just because you're a so-called expert doesn't mean you're right. And we've taught about that for years. They blame environmental, they blame stress, they blame COVID, but again, everything but the vaccines. People are starting to see it. But if you're a critical thinker and using reason, and you're doing studies on what causes long COVID, or what's causing all this myocarditis and turbo cancers in young people, and sterilization, young people becoming sterile, and all sorts of maladies that we've seen unprecedented push and skyrocket on the pie chart, on the scale in the last 5 years, they talk about everything but the vaccines. You have to include that to be true science. So a lot of doctors, a lot of experts who see the bigger picture are doing that. So we're going to get that, finally, the true information on that we already know, but the mainstream, hopefully what we call the normies, people who have been following unquestionably everything, are going to start to see the cracks in the facade. Crossfire Hurricane files were dumped last Friday. People are digging through that. This is the files that the supposed Russian collusion when Trump was in office, brought on by various things, Hillary Clinton and that Steele guy in the UK. They spent 2 years of our news cycle, plus 2 years of our news cycle, talking nothing about Russia collusion, which ended up being a nothing burger. Now we're going to find out who's behind it all. We're going to get to the truth, and there are going to be people arrested. Something that's going to start to come into focus now, many of us have been waiting for, is the voter fraud. The election integrity that they said is most secure elections in history. No, it's not. So just wait to see that unfold. All these levels of different things starting to unfold. It's an exciting time to be alive. And a lot of us conspiracy theorists have been right all along about many things so far, so we'll be right all along about what's coming up in the future. Most likely, I'm betting on it. Something I like to read here. It's a good piece. I can't remember if I wrote it or I took it from something, but notice how leaders, news, and everything are starting to crack. Everything's going shrill right now. The desperation and the narratives are reaching a shrill and screeching tone. You can just feel it. Because they want things to stay as they were, the status quo. But they are not, but the status quo is not, and they can't. We are breaking it all down because it has to be done to free us and around the world. The whole narratives, everything we've been taught since childhood, most everything's been one big lie and reasons to control the people. Cracks in the facade are going deeper. Many are in for some big surprises ahead. People are waking up to the realities of what's going on. This is much bigger than politics. It's amazing. So we're going into, I've said this over and over for years, we're going into uncharted territory, unprecedented territory ahead. Nothing will ever go back to the way it was. That's making many people uncomfortable. They're still following narratives that they were programmed into from the media and from politicians, but it's breaking wide open. You can just see things are changing, not just on a political level, but on a health level, spiritual level, everything. And I'm seeing more people wake up to that fact. More people are starting to question everything, whether that's on whatever level. And that's what needs to be done, because that opens you up to really see what's going on in the matrix, so to speak. So eyes wide open, keep your grounding, try to help others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.